Greetings. Good day to you. Good day to all of you. This is hard, but I will try. In October 16, 1919, Hitler began his propaganda. He had a plan, and his plan was to get rid of the Jews, of the Jewish people from Germany. And what he did is he wrote his whole strategy in his book called Mein Kampf, or My Power, My Struggle. He got into power. He used propaganda to persuade a lot of powerful people, a lot of influential people, and he got into power. In 1937, they had the Nuremberg laws. You can look it up if you want to. And, well, to cut it short, it was based on simplifying complex issues for its propaganda. It played on the emotions of the German people. It dehumanized the Jewish people by calling them anything but people on the media, on their media systems. So it called them parasites, called them vermin, called them aliens, called them just everything that's ill and bad. So when the locals started seeing the police or the armed forces beat, arrest the Jewish people, kill them, murder them, it was an unconscious thing or a subconscious reaction. For years, they did not see Jewish people as humans. They saw them as rats, as vermin, as parasites, because the media had only just called them these things and not people. So they did not feel bad or feel a certain way about this massive genocide or our entire race trying to be wiped out. A similar situation is happening today. It is the year 2020 and the world has changed. The media today, the world today, portrays black people, African people, as thugs, as hoodlums, as criminals, as them, the others. They also pay celebrities, actors, rappers, entertainers to denigrate, to use the N word, use the B word, just use every evil and every bad word for black people on the media. And half the time it's actually black people being paid to use the N word in their songs, in their movies, in all their forms of media. And they just keep throwing thugs, bad words, just crazy words. So if you watch most news channels today and there's a gathering of black people doing a peaceful protest, you're going to hear them being called thugs, being called criminals, being called everything but people. You will not see any media today calling black people in a peaceful gathering people. And it's an unconscious effect. So many people who hear that word, when they see an officer beating up a black person, they get desensitized because it does not register as a police officer beating a human being. So when a person is called every name but a human or a person, it's unconscious reaction. People don't think about it that way. What I see is I see a man in uniform choking a man to death. I see a man in uniform who's supposed to be the authority shooting another man in the back who looks just like me, who could be me. If you, this happens a lot of times, people don't seem to understand it, is that when you ask people about, the bad people on earth or whatever, they could say, oh, is these people, is that person, or blah, blah. What happens is that the individuals you ask don't actually have their own tale to tell. They have a story of somebody else, or they heard something happen to somebody, or it happened to them once. Now, every black man I know in the UK, in the US, in Europe, in Canada, wherever it is, when you ask them their experience with the police, they will tell you their own personal stories. It's not going to be, oh, I heard this guy, this person. No, they tell you their own personal stories. Every black woman too has the same thing. They'll have their own personal stories. And it's not easy. As much as people think that there is no racism in the world today, there is racism. It's there. It might be covert, but it's there. People get racially profiled. People get stereotyped. Many a black person, I could be dressed in a 3-piece suit and go into a shop to buy something. I have to keep my hands out in public or just show my hands out there, because if the store owner looks at me and my hands in my pocket, they think I'm a thief. It's just not me. Every other person will tell you their own story too. Same thing. But if a similar dress code with a different skin color walked in, it would not be that way. So that happens everywhere. Now, when most people travel, say you're going for a holiday, go to another country, you're thinking, okay, where's the beach? Where's the nice places? Where are the cheap hotels and blah, blah, blah. What black people do, what we don't realize is, they're going to a certain country and they actually look up how racist is that country. That's racism in the world. It may not happen to you, but it does not mean it's not happening. So when black people are saying Black Lives Matter, when non-black people are saying Black Lives Matter, what they're actually saying is they're tired of trying to explain what they're going through and you're not listening. They're tired of what's been happening to them since before they were born until today, and people are not listening. Most times people don't want to listen. They want you to say what you have to say so they can have their own say, or argument for argument's sake. We say Black Lives Matter. We never said only Black Lives Matter. We are so aware that all lives matter. You just need to be aware that black lives are in danger. So, the George Floyd killing, murder, that's not justice. The officers have been whatever, but that's not justice. Justice is not having millions of people around the world marching and protesting just to get 4 officers arrested. That's injustice, and that's inequality. How can you call that equal rights? One person is not being treated like the other. And also, this is not a black versus white thing or a race thing. It's not. It's brutality. It's brutality. That's the case. Even if you were a white officer against a white person or any other color, it's just brutality. And you want to call it out. It's just unfortunate that many black people get in these situations a lot more than every other race. I can tell you this as a black man, and for every other black man out there, the minute or the moment they walk out of their front door till they get back indoors, they have to be on their guard at all times. The same thing for black women. And it's not even just that when they go everywhere, they get disrespected. No, it's people don't know how to respect them. There's a big difference between disrespect and not knowing how to respect a person. Absolutely different. I'm going to give you a corny quote right now from Desmond Tutu. Desmond Tutu said, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the path of the oppressor. This is annoying. This is frustrating because it's the same march that's been going on for the past 50 plus years. And in 2020, it hasn't changed. Now, I have solutions. But these solutions will not be televised. It's that simple. Get this message, share this around for all your friends, your colleagues, your teammates, your workmates who are non-black, who keep asking about I don't get the whole Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. Share this. If you need me, message me. It's been emotional.